What's up, everybody? The Toy Mantis is back with a new toy discussion. Today, I'm going to be talking about Hasbro's recent PulseCon event for 2021. Now, as you all know, that since COVID happened, Hasbro has to have their little, meetings on live streams instead of doing it in person and making a cool event out of it and just giving us the product reveals. Now, obviously, they try to figure out some things to keep it entertaining, which, revealing the toys is the only entertaining part. Let's be honest, for toy collectors, we only care about the toys. I don't care about Weezer. I mean, yeah, I listen to a few of their songs, but do I care to see them show up? Nah, not really. There's just a lot of other things that Hasbro did that were kind of meh during this event. So let's go and start off with the Star Wars team. Now, Star Wars, of course, had to talk about a bunch of Star Wars product reveals that were mostly just repaints or something that would be more so not a deluxe, but is sold as a deluxe. So, of course, I'm talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu that, of course, are just repainted versions with a little snow on them, and they throw in a spider that has minimal articulation, which would have been cool to see like an army building of that, but that's kind of like a meh thing to it, really. The thing about Grogu is that it's just still that pose, he's doing this, and that's it. No articulation in Grogu. They did have that before, but now they're taking that away, and it's just kind of that same sculpt over and over again, and it's released as a deluxe pack over and over, and then it's got to be sold as a deluxe over and over. So that's how we're seeing that being made, and it is really, really getting harder and harder for collectors wanting to buy it. And it's so funny that the Hasbro team for Star Wars has to talk about it and is like, yeah, and we got another repaint. They know they're doing repaints, and they even mention it themselves, but they don't care. Obviously, that there's very minimal to the sculpting that they need to do, and for some reason that still rates them to be overly priced as a deluxe figure, even though there's limited articulation on the extra things that it comes with, and the figure's constantly repainted over and over. Now, obviously, we also saw Cobb Vanth get announced, and he's a deluxe. And that's kind of hilarious because he comes with 4 items: a jetpack, a unhelmeted head, and he also gets 2 guns, right? So that's all we see with Cobb Vanth. $31.49 makes 0 sense. He is like, just because it's a new figure, new sculpt, doesn't rate to get deluxe. He's not a huge character, and that's just kind of funny. That's just funny that they are releasing these things that would cost normally $22.99, I guess now that's the price. But they're like, yeah, $31.49 because we can get those extra $7 out of you for pretty much nothing also. And I saw some people trying to defend it. Well, that's not the same because, you got to take off the mask and he's got to have all this detail. Yeah, I mean, all figures have detail underneath. They just don't paint them and stuff, and they just add a little glue. So obviously, we painted the head and we took out the glue, we're going to charge you $10 more. So please pay up. And we're, of course, going to make this an exclusive when we can. But obviously, Cobb Vanth should be available everywhere. The Mandalorian, of course, is a Target exclusive, which he's still available to get since they limited everything to 1 per person, which is perfectly, cool. Make sure everyone gets it. But I think a lot of people are also still like very much sick of it. I mean, everyone's definitely done with the credit collection. We're done with those colors, those prototype color things for Black Series. There's just, get to the stuff that needs to be done, not the other stuff. I mean, but releasing these things as deluxe is coming way more frequently for much, much less. And Hasbro will continue to do this over and over as long as the sales are met and they actually make money. Now, obviously, they're probably fighting very hard to fight whatever Moloch caused them years ago, having to make 1 million of those dudes and then sell them for like $6 and still not be able to sell them. Hasbro, of course, will always come up with new ways to sell you things that would make up their price points. So clearly they are having some losses here and there, so they just keep rebranding things and making it pricier and pricier with deluxe figures that aren't really deluxe figures, because what makes a deluxe figure? And it's certainly not the packaging. Who cares about the packaging really of it being deluxe sized and making you pay extra money. I mean, they could have made Cobb Vanth $24.99. I think they could have possibly even done that with Mando as well, with clever packaging designs, but obviously they had to do that stupid slant thing that they praise so much on their new packaging. Obviously the Star Wars team does have some sort of care here and there, but they really are kind of losing touch with the fan base. They're really focusing more so on styles of packaging instead of the figures themselves, and also not focusing on characters that people are waiting to get. Black Series has been going on since 2013, and we still are missing a lot of characters, and we're getting more so same characters every time that we've already have, like Luke, Han, and such. And now for the Marvel Legends portion for Hasbro PulseCon. Through that, it was just extremely long. It was just 3 interviews mainly for writers, drawers, and animated creators, and just kind of really going into their work, and it was just, that was not what people were there for. It was just way too long interviews. Those interviews could have been chopped down to 5 minutes, ask them a couple of questions, make it kind of a little pre-planned, but being like a whole big conversation where you really didn't feel like you're a part of it at all, and you're just waiting for that toy reveal, right? You know, that's just kind of one thing that just really didn't work with that you know, panel from Marvel. That was just terrible. Dwight Stahl really did save the show, though, I think, on that. Like, he just really was just, he was funny the whole time. And that little thing that happened about the X-Men animated series, Tim watching it, and how he reacted towards Dan was hilarious. I thought that was the funniest thing. It just seemed like there was just like heat there. And Ryan's face just drops.
Down, and I will watch some X-Men animation. Why don't you actually come back to our state, and then we can actually, you know, pretend that we're civil human beings, and we can do this together instead of you just kind of floating all over the bloody East Coast for the last 2 years. You know, set some roots, buddy.
That's literally what happens. That is hilarious. That is just unbelievable. Like, I just, you can kind of see the facial reactions of what's going on here, and there's just a little heat there. But anyways, I think Dwight was just hilarious. Out of all the people that were talking that day for Hasbro PulseCon, it was just hilarious. I thought that was the best part. He's the only one that was actually remotely entertaining, so that's my opinion on that. But after the very long, dreaded interviews, you really get some meh reveals at the end of it, right? You finally get Null, so that was a character that I know people have been asking for. I have no idea who that character is, to be honest with you. And then you get Vanguard, and that took 30 minutes to figure out who that was going to be, but kind of got a hint, I guess. And then you obviously had the X-Men animated creators talk, and that part was cool. I kind of did like to hear a little bit about it, and they actually revealed 2 figures, but it did kind of take a while as well. It really could have been cut down. Should have been definitely cut down. You know, each one of those could have been 5 minutes each, and the X-Men one could have been 10, because 2 figures, right? But you get the Wolverine and Jubilee animated style figures. Now those guys are pretty cool, and that was something that was, you know, like meh. Also at the same time, reason being is that it wasn't Morph right away, and we could have just all completed the X-Men team and really say, yeah, that's our classic animated figures, because Morph was really just missing, I believe. And here we are now with an updated version of Jubilee and Wolverine, where they're very much more that classic animated style from the TV show. And it's cool. It still is cool. Like, they're cool figures, but it took forever to, you know, just get there, right? It's just kind of like, we're still waiting on Morph. We're not complete. And now it's kind of like we're starting at the beginning. You know what I mean? When you look at it, though, with Wolverine, I thought it was kind of cool with Wolverine, because when you look at his head sculpt, it literally does look like 2 Batmans are looking at each other, and that's what you kind of need to complete there. that was just like a wow, that that sculpt really did emphasize on that. So if you do look at that figure image, you can just see that there's a Batman. It's two Batmans looking at each other. Jubilee was also a interesting choice. You know, that she gets that more classic look too. So that's pretty cool. It's just that now we know there's going to be a whole set of figures just to get those classic looks. For some of them, at least. You know, Beast makes way more sense to see in the future now. Again, I know a lot of people missed out on Beast, and it just makes sense. They're gonna do probably 8 figures, and maybe eventually Morph. Maybe Morph can be the very next one, and then we can just get Morph that way. Hey, whatever gets us to Morph, cool. But you know, Morph should definitely be the next one before we see everyone else repainted and redone and more accurate to the animated show. And you know, hey, maybe in a few years, classic animated series Sentinels. That would be kind of cool, right? You know, that'd be something interesting for a Haslab to do Sentinels in 5 to 10 years, probably in a giant video cassette tape box. I think that's gonna possibly happen. Might be a little bit on the shorter side, maybe something more affordable, but you know, that'd be something kind of interesting to see, but who knows. But with the other things that Hasbro has had in this panel, they obviously leaked the Captain America 2-pack, or not leaked, but they announced the Captain America 2-pack that's just basically repaints. Very, very ridiculous how they did this without just giving Anthony Mackie like that unmasked head with his original release that we just got from the Disney Plus wave. And yeah, you know, it's just weird that they're not, you know, doing this before. You know, that they're clearly just stretching out as much as they can with Captain America here with the Sam Wilson, and obviously there's be their last chance to really do a Chris Evans figure, I guess, before they have to move on with other things. But I mean, obviously there's older versions they could do of him. But yeah, we get another Endgame Captain America, and yeah, that's just kind of like a meh. I wish they just did the World War II Captain America. That would have made that pack much more better if they just took World War II Cap, because that one was the obvious needed update to be made, and I think that would have been a better release. But obviously it would have sucked because you would have had to get another Sam Wilson cap if you didn't want one. But I'm just thinking here, you know, like the Endgame cap, yeah, his price did raise and all, but that's only satisfying to some people who've been already having him. It's kind of like, whatever. Would have definitely preferred World War II cap instead. But, however, we do get the Winter Soldier flashback from Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. Now, this is obviously the updated version of how he would look probably in the Winter Soldier. I have to see a comparison, really, to see if it's more accurate to that movie or watch the live stream again. But with that being said, though, the Winter Soldier definitely was a good figure. It had a good likeness to Sebastian Stan, and they made him separate, $22.99, available Amazon, all that other good stuff. So, you know, definitely something I think a lot of people would have wanted. It looks like it has a very unique sculpt as well. Another thing we did get was also the Baron Zemo. I think this is a Walgreens exclusive, if I remember correctly, because there was a saying that some figure was a Walgreens exclusive, and so I think we're getting a villains version of Walgreens exclusives for next year. So that's the theme, I'm guessing. So we get a classic Baron Zemo, which was probably the best announcement that we've gotten, I think, from this live stream. That was a new figure, technically. Definitely a different version of Baron Zemo. But, you know, hey, I think that's cool. Definitely a better one from what I saw. And then, obviously, we get the respect towards the Marvel Legends Toy Biz line, and we get Captain America and Iron Man. Now, the price points on these were a bit too harsh, I think. $31.99 seems a little bit much, especially when they're just regular 6-inch figures, and they come with extra accessories and stuff, but there is no build-a-figure piece, and the packaging, you know, it's just packaging. So I think that should have been like a $26.49 figure instead, but Hasbro's going to do what it's going to do and collect as much money as possible. So with that being said, though, you do get an announcement that Hulk and Toad are going to be coming, basically. I mean, oh, we said the names. It's happening, right? So Hulk and Toad, and obviously, who knows how much those guys are going to cost. Hulk would have been probably $31.99 because he would have technically been a deluxe figure. But I'm going to guess that because they're going to probably throw in an extra head sculpt, maybe a torn up shirt, that they'll say, yeah, it justifies it to be $34.99 or $35.99, whatever they do, $40. We'll see. And then Toad, of course, would probably be also falling under that $31.99 price range. Now with Toad, though, this is one that they really need to take care of. This figure needs to be the best version of Toad possible because it's been such a long wait, straight from the beginning, basically. And, you know, Toad just needs to be basically the best version possible. He needs to probably be pinless. He definitely should be pinless. He should be a unique sculpt as well, very well articulated, and he should not be sharing things from Dr. Octopus. Doesn't match his body as well. He definitely is a skinnier limb type guy, but just like that fat center, right? So I think Toad definitely needs to be knocked out of the ballpark here and make definitely sense. You know, awesome, cool head sculpts would be cool, you know, one with a tongue coming out, one just disgusting looking, you know, who knows. A lot of options for Toad here. So hopefully Hasbro does go all out with Toad and they make that $31.99 price point really worth it for him. The cards and the stands, I think, suck. That's just me, though, you know. I think that's a step backwards from what Toy Biz actually was doing before. They were actually making stands, not making them into a piece of cardboard and a basic stand. They were actually back round displays. And I think we should have definitely have gone full circle with maybe something a bit bigger for their displays instead. But I mean, Hasbro went one way, you know, and fans will go the other. Well, I don't know. But it's a whatever thing, you know, that's just how it is. So there we are with those things. They're clearly not the anniversary line that people were expecting for next year. Now, I kind of always assumed it was going to be about Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man has 2 special anniversaries for 2022. They have their 20-year film anniversary since it started with Sam Raimi and really did shoot off the real superhero movie universe. Yes, I know X-Men and Blade and all those other movies came out before, but it really did also give people the idea that superheroes can bring in real bank. So with that being said, though, we also get the 60-year anniversary with Spider-Man from the comics, and obviously there's a lot to tell, so I'm going to guess there's going to be a mixture line here, but that's a whole theory video I want to throw out later. You know, there's so many characters that they could possibly do. You know, Venom, Let There Be Carnage just came out, so Carnage could be like a $50 deluxe figure. I have this weird idea what they could do with that, but you know, hopefully that whatever they do, they make that set really well. Now, after the whole 2 hours of watching that panel and really only getting 8 figures announced or something like that, you get to reveal what the vote was, and the villain was Despair, which is a character I also have no idea about. And it was so funny just reading the comments because people were just saying, revote, please. That was... Yeah, I voted for the villain, so I'm at fault here. But yeah, I was like, man. Oh well, whatever. I mean, I guess we'll see what the other figures are. Should have voted for something else. That was my bad. I'm sorry, guys. Now, the one good thing that did come out from PulseCon is that their limited edition or exclusive items were actually available for premium members who paid. Everyone was able to pay for it, get it, perfectly fine. Still had enough time to make it out to the regular fans who don't pay the premium price. So yeah, it's just really nice that they did make those available and make sure everyone did get them, though. It sucks when something gets released and you can't buy it, and yeah, 2 minutes on the clock. Obviously, Hasbro makes these things at very, very inconvenient times. You know, Saturday being Saturday, it's okay, cool. So Marvel was kind of a bit good, but it definitely was harder on Star Wars Day. You know, their thing being on a Friday, everything's listed by 4 p.m. I mean, come on, how many people are still working on Friday at 4 p.m.? A lot, you know, and I'm sure there was a lot of people, collectors out there that were just kind of, you know, struggling a little bit, but they did make sure things were actually still available. Surprisingly, though, the Cantina, out of even Trapper Wolf, it actually sold out. Trapper Wolf is still available as well, last I checked, which was I don't know, 30 minutes before this video making. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. If you want to see my other terrible videos and stuff, go and check those guys out. But other than that, guys, hopefully Marvel will do better next time. Hopefully Star Wars will do better next time. Hopefully we'll get less repaints, but we all know we're gonna get more. So I will see you all later.